Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. In our previous session, we have looked under the topic of differentiation of numerical method. We have looked at first derivative of using 2-point forward, whereby for 2-point forward, basically if this is our point of interest, so we need to use the point next to it, and then we can solve to find the differentiation using this equation. And then we have also looked at 2-point backward. So if let's say this is our area of interest, so we need to use the point before it, which is yx minus h, and in order to find the differentiation, so basically this is the equation that we use. And we have also looked at 3-point central, whereby for 3-point central, if this is our area of interest, so we need to use the point next to it, forward next to it, and the point before or backward before the point of interest. And this is the equation that we can use to find the differentiation using 3-point central. And we have looked at a few examples before. For example, we have tried to solve this equation using 2-point forward, 2-point backward, and 3-point central. So for this session, what we're going to look at is another type of example of question to find differentiation using numerical method. So let's say we've got a set of data where it gives us the x and fx value. So the question asks us to determine f prime 2 using 2-point forward, 2-point backward, and 3-point central. So if you can compare between this question and our previous example, in this example or question, first we can see that the function equation, for example, fx equals to e to the power of 2x is not given. Okay, for example, in our previous example, we can see that it gave us the function equation. And the second thing, that if you realize that no h value is given. So how do we solve this question then, if we think that the information is incomplete? Right, first thing, before you solve any question, you need to understand the question first. We need to know what method we need to use, whether it's first derivative or whether it's second derivative. So the keyword here is in here. In order for us to know whether it's first derivative or second derivative, we need to look at the question. The question asks us for f prime. It's not f double prime, but it's f prime. So straight away we know that this is a first derivative. And then second thing, we can see that no function equation is given. So if I simplify this data, if let's say I plot this data as a point, let's say point 1, point 2, this is point number 3, 4, point 5, point 6. Okay, let's say I draw a line here that connects all these points. Okay, this is just an example, yeah? So first we look that our point of interest is f prime at x equals to 2. So basically this is our point of interest, whereby this is our fx, because the question asks us to find f prime 2 when the x value is 2. So basically this is our fx, and for us to solve using 2-point forward, we can still remember that we need to determine fx plus h, whereby fx plus h is the point after the point of interest. So if this is our point of interest, our next point of interest forward would be this one. So this is our fx plus h, and the value of fx plus h is basically this one. And for our fx value, it is this one. So we have already got all of the information to solve it using 2-point forward. How about to solve it using 2-point backward? So for 2-point backward, we need the point before our point of interest. So if let's say this is our point of interest, the point before it would be this one. So basically this is our fx minus h, whereby the value of fx minus h is given in the table. So we can solve it straight away. And how about 3-point central? So we know if we want to use using 3-point central, basically we need to have the fx plus h and fx minus h, and since we already have all of the values, we can straight away solve using 3-point central. So we don't need any function equation because all of the value is given here, right? So this is solved. How about the second one? No h value is given. So basically what we need to understand, what is h? So h is basically what we call as step size or increment in x direction. So what is increment in x direction? So if you can see here, we start with 1 and the next point is 1.5. So the increment is 0.5, because from 1 to 1.5 the increment is 0.5. So if we look at the second point and we look at the third point, from 1.5 to 2 is still the same. The step size or the increment is 0.5. So from here we know that our h value is 0.5. Now, since we have all of the value given, we can solve it straight away. Okay, so just to enhance your understanding on h. Okay, if you can see here, for example, this is 2-point forward. So we have a value of yx here and yx plus h here. So let's say if I put this as value of x is 0.8 and this one x plus h is basically I put as 1.0. So we know that h is basically the distance in x direction between 2 points. So for this one, the h would be 0.2. Okay, so I hope from here you can understand more what h is. So let's get back to our question. So how do we want to solve it using 2-point forward? Let's start with the equation of 2-point forward. We know that for 2-point forward, y prime x is yx plus h minus yx over h. So since the question asks us to find y prime 2, so look back at the data that we have, yx plus h. So this is our area of yx plus h, and the value of yx plus h is given as 13.1825. So I write as 13.1825. Next one would be yx. So what is our value of yx? This is our yx. So the value of yx is this one, 8.3891. So minus 8.3891 over our h value is given as 0.5. Okay, so if we use our calculator straight away, we get the value of 9.568. It's quite straightforward, isn't it? Okay, let's look at the second one. We want to solve it using 2-point backward. So we write the equation for 2-point backward. Y prime x is yx minus yx minus h over h. So basically we need two values, the point of interest and the point before the point of interest, yx minus h. So y prime 2 is equals to value of yx. So this is our value of yx, 8.3891. Minus yx minus h. So this is our yx minus h area. So this is the value of yx minus h, which is the point before our point of interest. Over 0.5. So if we use our calculator straight away, we get the value of 5.8148. Alright, that is if we want to solve using 2-point backward. And the last one is 3-point central. So write the equation of 3-point central. Y prime x is equals to, we need to know that 3-point central we require the point before and the point after. So equation is yx plus h minus yx minus h over 2h. So y prime 2 is equals to, let's look at yx plus h. So this is the area of yx plus h, which is 13.1825. Minus yx minus h, meaning that is the point before the point of interest, which is this one. And this is the value of yx minus h, 5.4817. Over 2h, y2h. So we know that from here, the distance from this point to this point is h. So from 1.5 to 2, it is 0.5. And the point from here to here is also h. So this is 0.5. That's why we divided by 2h, because the distance between point fx minus h and fx plus h is 2h. So the value of H is 0.5. So if we use our calculator straight away, we'll get 7.7008. So voila, we have solved the question, I guess less than 3 minutes or maybe 5 minutes by using 2 point forward, 2 point backward and 3 point central. So that's all for today's session. My name is Shahmihayan Sanusi. Till we meet again in our next session. Thank you and see you later. Bye-bye.